Hello Virgo, welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. This is your reading for September 28th. Decided to stop playing with the computer. We've had it take a shit today, so we're going to do this old school and just post this video itself right on YouTube. So this is it, guys, going from Facebook. Here we go for Virgo. Let's take a look and see. Unfortunately, you won't get to see the picture-in-picture because I'm posting this just like it is. Man, electronic sandwich. All right, here we go, kids. Game on. First thing that comes up, Seven of Swords. You might see some storm breaking, but you've had such rough times coming and going right here. You have this card here that indicates that, you know, things should be breaking up a little bit when they were feeling a little bit more intense. This is hard for you to accept right now. The Five of Cups is in play, and this is our card that indicates that you're feeling as if you can't trust this. Okay, so when you have something like this that comes up, it's like, yeah, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop still, and you're kind of not liking that information isn't as solid as it used to be. I am seeing the Knight of Wands, which feels like some things are beginning again. There's a lot of renewal and starting over. There's a lot of endurance that's going on for us right now when we have this kind of energy. I was just listening to Cute Baba with our reading about Mercury retrograde with the Venus in Leo coming up as a trine happening tonight. So we've got a lot of this feeling of relief that's happening. There's, how did he put it? He called it the treasure in being with. So when you're coming up on all these roadblocks, it feels like they're constant, consistent, and repetitive. But what's happening here is, you know, this is what we call the great pause moments where you're feeling as if nothing's going to change, but it's actually feeling as if it's shifting. I do see the Fool card for you and some celebration. I love the Fool card. This is opportunity, okay? And this is also crossroads where you're sitting there looking at all the different directions you can go and what the possibilities are looking like. So you're starting to feel as if you can look at things with a fresh outlook or a fresh perspective. I will say that Virgo is feeling restricted, also feeling as if a little combative. In EMS, we would call a patient when they had this energy as combative. They just kind of feel like, you know, it just seems like there's constant obstacles that are going on for you. But we have the Moon card here and the Strength card. And the Strength card, Leo, right? Your Leo card. If you notice here, it has the symbol of Leo. So this is the Leo card. And the Strength card, we've got the Venus in Leo, right? That's right, Venus and Leo. That's our silver lining. So with this trine being a positive aspect, it tells us that, you know, we can start looking for things to change. There's a big sense of frustration that's going on, especially for Leo looking at money, like not feeling as if things are as committed as they could be, or feeling as strong, or that the strength is wavering a little bit with some of our ideas and things that are going on around us. We do have the Strength card, and let's talk about the Strength card. You've heard me use the analogy often about being in a place where, you know, you're becoming friends with your past, becoming friends with your demons and your limitations, and the Strength card is literally pulling the burr from the lion's paw and making friends with it, and now it's become your strength and your asset. So there might be a little bit of this time, you know, when I was listening to Akuta just before, as I was waiting for my computer to stop playing games with me, I was listening to him talk about this being grace, endurance. Like as we go through this next phase of roadblocks, we've got to look for what it's teaching us. And so if you come from gratitude, which during ayahuasca, I really learned about how to settle into gratitude, is those moments when you feel like you're going to panic and things feel like they're about to break out of control, or that you don't have control, which that's the illusion that we ever will, right? Is that we have control. And so learning to surrender and coming from gratitude for whatever the lesson is, and also coming from gratitude for what we do have. You know, he was talking about people that endure. I'm not trying to plagiarize here, but it was so profound because I'm seeing this ease coming to you, in this pragmatic outlook of feeling as if you can't trust it. But coming from gratitude is like where I've been and where I'm going. And he talked about endurance, you know, endurance being that people who've endured a lot have a tendency to be grateful for things much more too. And then we can stay in that place for a longer period of time. We have the Moon card for you and the Ten of Swords, which Virgo is really playing with this energy of you know, feeling like they want to break out of the cage, bust out of things, and kind of shift their energy and do something more. It's that, you know, the starting gate here, ready to go, and someone needs to drop the flag so we can just take off. I do see some celebration coming up for you, so this might indicate that some good times are on the rise, maybe somebody's birthday, a family gathering, or some such. King of Wands in play. That tells us like leadership that's going on. Queen of Coins. So money is highly on your mind right now. And this isolated period that you're having is, you know, the Hermit telling us that you're feeling like kind of in a void. Knight of Wands, which is our Virgo temperament, feeling like they don't want to start over and begin new adventures, really just looking for some stability and for this constant wavering energy to shift for you. Let's pull a card from Mystic Dreamer. Book your one-on-one. Karma on deck. Follow me on YouTube. Karma on deck. Get in on the Tarot 101 and let me know how that goes. All right, here we go. Page of Cups. This is how you're thinking and feeling for your Virgo moon. You got the Five of Wands, which is your congruency between your general spread and your moon reading here. So you're definitely losing your shit more than you're allowing others to know. You're probably keeping that pretty close to the chest. We have the Tower card. You really do feel as if your foundation is shaken, and you know there's this Wheel of Fortune in play. Also the Chariot. The Chariot card, if you notice, especially in this deck in particular, she's got a mist, which is uncertainty. She's got two horses that are looking, they're wild, right? They have this wild, crazy sensation where they are not sure which direction they're going. They don't like the mist. They don't like where they're going. Every sound has probably got to be alarming them. And, you know, I can totally identify with that. This image just gives me these two skittish animals, right? And I can totally get with that. I was standing in the dispensary in Vegas, and a gentleman was in front of me. We did the nod. We had our masks on. And the person that came in behind us did this booming yell of like, "Hi, how are ya?" And he just, "Ha, ha, ha." And we both like jumped and looked each other in the face and giggled. And I said, "Things are a little too tense for that shit." He goes, "Right." I'm like, "Tone it down, tone it down." I said, "I'm feeling a little sketchy." Jumpy, right? So this is that, you know, jumpy, skittish behavior. She has a little light in front of her, but if you know, it's a full moon, but there's no clear path here, and it just feels like she's trudging on and she's got shit to do. But she has this full moon. It's high time. She's got somewhere to go, things to do, but she's driven. Like, she's going to demand that these two act right and pulling them the direction that they need to go for everybody involved safety. So as far as Virgo is going, you have the Wheel of Fortune, which it's time. And so you're kind of feeling as if it's about time, okay? There's really no better way to see it. But I will say that Virgo's spending, too much time on the internet and social media, or playing with electronics or the computer and just like maybe obsessing. Also picking up that there's some unhappiness and overwhelm that's going on. And I think some of this you're keeping close to the chest. You're not wanting to share a lot of that, you know, really with too many people. And you're, I think, quite possibly be Seven of Wands, investigating or sneaky looking at some things that you shouldn't, or just being browsy. I call it browsy when, you know, people go back and they Facebook stalk or go to Instagram and see who's watched my story and who's seeing this. So I feel like Virgo might be a little investigative right now. I'm also seeing the Star card, where Virgo's looking for meanings, looking for signs. So I'm not saying you're not going to see them, but you're desperately looking for some kind of connection between what's happening with you and where it's going and what the meaning is behind all of that. I'm also seeing the Nine of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is lack of sleep. You might be losing some quality sleep time doing some of this obsessing, or maybe you're not sleeping well and have a little insomnia, or you might be having the flip side, which is sleeping too much, escapism. Knight of Swords is our card that talks about having an attitude of impatience, or feeling as if, you know, you might just want to let out on somebody. I would recommend you not do that. If you have to avoid people, by all means, recalibrate and go within. I will say that the underlying tone about moods and processing emotions for you is the Nine of Wands, which is a little bit like, I've done all that I can and there's yet more to do, but I've shoot my shot kind of thing. Five of Wands is fighting. So I would should expect to see some antagonistic behavior, maybe within and without. I do see that you're willing to make an apology and reach out to others and be kind, but you're feeling a little bruised and tender. Self-care is the answer to all of this, and meditation as well. If you have this anxiety, which I didn't see anxiety for you, but this is emotional turmoil a little bit more, just like these emotions are deep and they're feeling as if they're bringing things up from the past and possibly dredging things up that you don't want to deal with or don't have time to. I mean, you know, I can often say to people, you know, when they want to talk to me, I'm like, yo, you gotta just give me a minute to process, or this isn't a good time to give it the depth that I want to. And people deserve that, right? People deserve having kindness and space and safety to talk about these things, and maybe you're needing that too. So give what you expect. Let's pull a card from the Divination of the Ancients and see what your message is for this week. You know what? Let's shuffle these. I was feeling the center, but let's shuffle these really quick for you. Oh, and we're making a mess, and we're making a mess. Here, I love this deck. I just absolutely love this deck. But Virgo, I got to ask you, are you giving yourself enough time to rest in between activities? Are we overcommitting in such places that we don't feel like we can say no? Or are we over obligated? Because oftentimes that makes us feel like we're out of control, and feeling like there's no free time is never any fun. So, oh, wow. So I guess you have the card Lots, which is chance. It talks about, this isn't the same as throwing the dice, but I mean, it's also, there's two parts to this, one of which being the lot, the, you know, plant where grow where you're planted kind of thing. But this is also about taking a risk. I did see in the beginning of your reading that you had this moment where there's this opportunity coming for you and you feel as if there's lots out there. And this card here indicates that it's time to take a chance. I know it's risky out there, but if you don't take a chance and if you don't pull the trigger on some things, you're going to stay stagnant. And I think that's what's frustrating you the most. So whatever this is, it's taking a little bit of a risk. And I want you to just breathe a little bit and trust yourself on that. It's telling me to pull another card. I'm also seeing Ogam, which is nature. And this card indicates that it's time for you to step out and possibly recalibrate with something in nature. If this takes you going to the park or moon watching or sky watching, full moon is coming up on Wednesday. If this has to do with maybe getting by some trees, some of us, like me, for example, I need rain and water to recalibrate. That's my element. And ether, I like the lightning in between and the smell of the ozone. So nature, it's encouraging you to step into what it is that you feel most grounded in. So there you have it, Virgo, get grounded. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I don't have my computer up in order to see which reading I'll be doing next, but I'll pop back on here right after. Thank you for hanging out with me. If anybody has any ideas for tech support, I am very unhappy about my computer right now. Thank you guys. Come from love. Catch you on the flip side.